Hey YouTubers, today we're going to be asking one of the biggest questions left at the end of Jigsaw. Actually it wasn't really the biggest question that was ever established in the latest film in the Saw franchise, but it's certainly one that persists in the biggest way amongst the fan base when it comes to the current film franchise. Is Eleanor secretly the daughter of Dr. Gordon? And no, I don't mean some unseen bastard child that hasn't been introduced into the plot before, but whether or not Eleanor's character is simply Diana Gordon in disguise during the runtime of the 8th film in the Saw franchise, and whether the creators are simply trying to build up her character enough in order to pull a quick fast one on the audience before the end of Jigsaw 2. Probably the answer is no, but that really shouldn't stop us from looking up all the major clues from the last film and thinking about how wacky this twist would actually be. So with that being said, let's look at all those major clues. Eleanor's knowledge of all things Jigsaw and her trap collection. In Jigsaw, we get to see Eleanor's workshop and just how far her fangirl nature goes, even going as far as recreating some of the most iconic traps from the series, some of which are distinctly from Saw 2's gas house and even a collection from the iconic bathroom. And although it's possible that these locations were found by the police sometime in the time between Saw 3D and Jigsaw, nothing in the film really indicates that these traps were ever found by the police. Instead, Eleanor brushes off her collection to an intimate involvement with the dark web website known as Jigsaw Rules, and which she buys blueprints for some guy online. As cool as it would be to explore the whole world of Jigsaw Rules and the dark web, it could simply be put out that Eleanor's mysterious benefactor is in fact Dr. Gordon, to which she has a familial relationship with. Now, as I said before, the 8th film saw Eleanor as a bit of a fangirl when it comes to the Jigsaw Legacy, and as I've said in various tweets and other forms of these videos, I love that aspect of the franchise. The whole Jigsaw Rules, her workshop, everything about it. I think it's one of the most creative and fun things that the series has done with any character or any plot device since probably Saw 4's. It was happening at the exact same time as Saw 3's twist, and really, I can't wait to see where they take that. Because to me, despite not being really a part of anything in the previous part, it really shows her being knowledgeable about everything that's going on in the series, and we get to see how broad the Jigsaw mythology actually is. But with that being said, this could just simply be a way of showing everything as perfectly connected, and her character being introduced as Dr. Gordon's daughter, and a way of continuing the legacy that's attached to the original franchise. Number 2. Eleanor's Shrine to Dr. Gordon's hacksaw. So this is kind of in the same boat as the last point, but I think it deserves its own spot on this list. One of the biggest clues that the bathroom trap was actually found in the time between the last two Saw films was the hacksaw shrine found in Eleanor's workshop. Of course, I've long since argued that it makes way more sense that the recorded footage seen throughout the first Saw film was actually uploaded to jigsawrules.com, making it somewhat possible that this is simply a recreation of the Saw that was used in that bathroom footage. But I guess the creators can go in a much more convoluted way and suggest that the bathroom trap was actually found, and the shrine that Eleanor seems to have to Dr. Gordon's Saw is in fact the exact same Saw that was in the original Saw franchise. Or that simply that is the same Saw that was never found, and yet she still got it from her mysterious benefactor, who we've already mentioned could be Dr. Gordon. The reason I can't really shake this particular set piece is because it seems to be hidden away from everything else in Eleanor's workshop. And unlike anything else in that workshop, there is definitely something a little bit more sympathetic about that room, almost in a religious tone really, where it seems to be a shrine to Dr. Gordon or the bathroom trap itself as a way of honoring what went on there and how it made her the way she was. And even though we know that Logan must have known about that room in order to hide the body, it never really shows us showing her that room. It's clearly hidden away from everyone, and she didn't want anyone to see it. If anything, they could use this pretty accurately to show that yes, this was her way of honoring her father, who's probably passed in between the time of Saw 3D and now, if they ended up going that direction, and yet she's continuing the mantle, and that's why she's in this area and recreating these traps. I'm not sure that's exactly what they're going for here, but I do think it's definitely worth mentioning. Number 3. Why is Eleanor even in this movie at all? About midway through the film, Logan meets Eleanor in a bar and he asks her, why is she even in this area? She's definitely smart enough to be anywhere that she wants to be, and yet she requested in this area working with him under the police force. This question is never really fully answered, despite the obvious takeaway that she is a Jigsaw fangirl who just wants to be close to the legacy. The problem I have with this is that the Jigsaw killings just started up again after a decade of inactivity. I mean, was she lucky? Is she crazy? Did she just want to be close to it? Did she know that Logan was going to start something? We don't really know any of these questions, but it's definitely something that I want them to explore in the future if they ever get to it. And the simplest answer here is if Dr. Gordon was her father, it would be at least believable that she would know about Logan's involvement with everything that was going on in the Jigsaw timeline, and might even understand that he was gearing up to do something big. That's why she put herself in this situation and was hiding in the shadows for her time to strike, which would be in a future film. Look, as I started off this video, I just wanted to make it clear that I don't think any of these things are actually going to happen in the Saw franchise. I don't think that Eleanor is Dr. Gordon's daughter, even though I've heard a lot of people in the comment section and through the internet talking that this could potentially be a big twist in the future. Really, I don't put it past anyone to do a really quick, interesting twist making this the case and really setting up the future between a Logan or Eleanor team up or versus movie or something in the future of the series, but I'm not necessarily sure they're going to go that direction. It's still pretty interesting to think about, and the way that Jigsaw was really created, especially with Eleanor's character, leaves a lot to be desired, and there can be some really crazy twists when it comes to her character in the future. Whether this is the one that they're planning is really out there, and I think if they end up killing Dr. Gordon off unceremoniously, even if they do bring in his daughter like this, I think a lot of fans are going to be really mad at that development, so I don't see them actually doing that. But tell me what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think Eleanor is Dr. Gordon's daughter, or do you think that she is just her own complete new and original character to the series who's not connected to anything that happened in the previous 7 films, but is simply a Jigsaw fangirl who wants to continue the legacy in her own way, especially if she becomes closer to Logan? Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you every single time I upload. It's been real.